What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia, and welcome to another week of Tester Tuesday, where I'm going to get to you 3 Scentsy reviews this week. And guess what? Second place and third place actually were a tie. Now, last week we had a runaway first place scent. I think it was the most votes of any first place scent ever in terms of percentage. So let's get into it. All right, let's talk about our first place scent this week. With 47% of the vote, we have Whipped Frosting. This is a white colored wax. It's between light and medium light on cold sniff intensity. This was part of the limited time offer Sugar Chalet warmer bundle, where you get the warmer, which I will insert a picture of here, courtesy of my customer Karen, so thank you so much. This warmer, plus you had 3 bars, which were Whipped Frosting, Gingerbread Hugs, and Goody Goody Gumdrop. And that bundle sold out on the very first day. So if you want access to Whipped Frosting, you have to have a Scentsy Club. You would go in, sign into your account, add bars, go to promotions, and you will find Whipped Frosting there for a limited time, so make sure you jump on it. All right, so let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, decadent whipped butter swirled with frosted vanilla and golden sugar takes the cake. Now, I would put this in the bakery section, and it is a beautiful, yummy, decadent vanilla. It is not as rich as vanilla bean buttercream. There is butter in here, but I feel like the difference between vanilla bean buttercream, which is butter in the block, they talk about whipped butter. I don't know if you've ever had whipped butter, and it comes in those little tiny tubs, and sometimes you find them at hotels, and they just seem very airy, and you put it on whatever you're buttering, and it's just fluffy, and it's not as heavy smelling or tasting, and that's hits the nail on the head. Now, it talks about frosted vanilla and golden sugar. I'm not really sure, but there's a scent note from another Scentsy scent called Snow White Vanilla Cream. I feel like they might have used that in here. Snow White Vanilla Cream. It's a very pure, fresh, beautiful, sweet, yummy vanilla, edible, etc. The only other thing is, I think if you like the scent Happy Birthday, but you are one of the people that detects a marble cake note or a little bit of a chocolate undertone in Happy Birthday, then imagine that gone and replaced with the most yummy vanilla, and that's kind of what whipped frosting is to me. So very yummy, but I thought to myself, when I first smelled it on cold sniff, I was a little bit worried about the intensity. So let's talk about what the family thought, because I thought it was really yummy. My husband said he thought it was 7 out of 10. Erica said 6 out of 10, and Ryan really liked it at 9 out of 10. And I would say it was probably a 9 out of 10 on cold sniff for me. So I decided to warm it here in my bedroom, and I put 2 cubes here in my bedroom and 2 in the bathroom, left the bathroom door open, and let the scent kind of waft around. Now on day 1, I would say it was only about a 5 out of 10, which I was a little bit concerned about because people were saying how well it was performing for them. And I think I left it going about 2/3 of the day and turned it off. I said, I'm going to just wait a few days and warm it again. So that's what I did, and now we're on day 3, and I actually removed it earlier today. And I must say, yesterday I would say it was a strong medium, so I don't know if I was just smelling clashing scents on that first day or what, but it really picked up when I, restarted the warmers. And some scents don't do that, so I was really impressed with this. And I also decided to warm it in the boys' room. Now in the boys' room, we're on day 2, and yesterday, starting out at max, it was about 7.5 to 8 in their room. I put 3 cubes. I put 2 in a full size and 1 in a mini, and it's doing very well. It's so yummy and delicious. I'm very excited for this one for its melting on its own, because I love vanilla scents, and using it as a mixer, because this is a perfect mixer. It's not too sweet. If I could only say one thing, maybe I would say I would be okay with it just being a touch stronger, but maybe it's because my very first experience was that day that I couldn't smell it much past a 5. And I think, again, something might have just been off with my nose that day. I'm happy to say when I restarted it, it seems stronger. All right, so let's talk about where you would warm it. I would say medium spaces. You could test it out in a big area, but I don't know. A lot of vanillas aren't strong enough for a big area. So if you have very tall ceilings like I did at my old house, I wouldn't personally try it there. But I'm probably going to try it here in the apartment with, I think the ceilings are 9 feet. So I think we should be probably okay. I did put it in my Scentsy Club, and I put multiples in my club. But I think if you're gonna pick this up, then definitely allow it extra cure time if you can, because vanillas and bakeries tend to need almost double the amount of cure time as most waxes. Now, typically, Scentsy will pour this in advance enough that when you receive it, hopefully it will have already cured. However, I am going to say I ordered my one and done Scentsy clip on November 11th, and I didn't receive it until November 27th, and I felt like it was at Scentsy for a while before it was shipped. So I think what happened was they might have had to pour more of these because it was really popular. That's just a hypothesis. But yes, excellent scent, definitely worthwhile putting in your club, and I definitely can see this one making the top 12 Scentsy scent list for 2024. It's a really good one. That is whipped frosting. All right, let's talk about our second place scent. It is Very Snowy Spruce, and I have my used up testers in this bag and my one remaining tester, and I also have a brick. So the color of the wax is this mossy green color. This one tied with 16% of the vote. This is a bestseller in the woods category, and it's usually available every fall, winter with Scentsy. On cold sniff, when you smell it just out of the packaging, I would say it's about a medium, maybe just shy of medium. And let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, balsam, spruce, and cedar branches embrace the warmth of amber and woody pine cones. So there is an evergreen note to this, but it's subdued. So a lot of evergreens are very sharp. They have a bit of a stringent note. This one doesn't really have that as much, because I think what's happening is the pine cones and the cedar are coming in as that natural wood characteristic, kind of like you're walking through the Home Depot wood or you're just smelling somebody cutting wood. That wood tendency is bringing the evergreen sharpness down. The other thing is there is amber in here, and that amber gives it a level of sophistication. I don't really know how else to describe it. This one is more of a complex evergreen scent. And I think that's why it does so well, because there's little hints of everything combined together to give a really nice product. Now, I will tell you, when I first was involved with Scentsy, I didn't really love Very Snowy Spruce, and it has really grown on me, so much so that this year I am really loving it. And I believe last year I put it in my top 12 scents of 2023. Now, also last year, my husband gave it a very strong compliment, told me he loved it. This year, a couple of times he's really been put off by it. So it just kind of goes to show that for me, I've come around to it. For him, he finds it more like a pine cleaner. Speaking of, let's read the family rating. So my husband said 4.5 out of 10. He described this as a fail. He said fail. Erica said 4 out of 10, and Ryan said it smells like trees, that he liked it, and he gave it a 9 out of 10. And I would say for me, scent appeal is probably about a 7. Right, so I decided to warm some of these testers in the kids' bathroom. I took 2.5 testers, which is roughly just shy of 2 cubes, because I did it by weight just to see. And some of these testers are filled to the top, and some of them are really sunken in. So it just kind of goes to show there's variability. But typically, a tester like this is roughly 2/3 to 3/4 of a cube. Now, strength and throw in the kids' bathroom was about 7.5 out of 10. I left it going 2 days, and then I removed it. And right now I'm using a glass 25-watt warmer. It has a really wide dish. So then I took 8.5 testers, which is a little bit more than 6 cubes, and I put it in my big area. I put one of each of these in a mini warmer, and then I took the rest and divided up between 3 full-size warmers. And there, at max, it was between 6 and 7 out of 10. And I left it going a little bit more than 24 hours constant. What I find is, personally, when I warm a lot of evergreen scents, especially in my big area, they just lose steam and I can't smell them the greatest after a while. In smaller spaces, it contains it, and sometimes I can smell it longer. So that's my experience with this. If you are someone that finds most evergreen scents too astringent, sharp, bit of a turnoff, then maybe pick up Very Snowy Spruce, because that might really hit the notes that you're looking for. I would say this would be open concept worthy at a light to medium intensity, probably closer to medium. And if you put it in a smaller space, it's going to seem a little bit stronger and it's going to last a little bit longer. And also, I think if you're someone that wants to try it but you're not sure, just keep in mind, usually bestsellers are a great risk. If you're not sure, put it as your 6th bar, which is buy 5, get the 6 for free, and you're kind of getting a free shot at a free kick at the can. Will I repurchase Very Snowy Spruce? I don't need to because I have this amount left plus a full brick, but if I was out, I would pick up 1 bar for the next year. So that's a good one. All right, let's talk about our tied for second place scent, but placed as the 3rd scent for the week, and it is Holly Berry Cinnamon. This one had 16% of the vote. It's this slightly mossy to a little bit darker green, and I would say on cold sniff intensity, it's just shy of medium, around medium. Now, I remember this being available as a new release, I believe in 2017, and I joined in 2018, and it was around for that year as well. Now, I don't remember what category it was, and I used to have a catalog, but since I've moved, I've misplaced my old catalogs, but I believe it would probably be in a holiday or winter category back in that day. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, sweet cassis spiced with clove leaf and juniper berry. So for me, this is one of those traditional holiday Christmas Scentsy scents, a winter style scent that you have an evergreen or a greenish tree. And then you have a spice medley, and then you have something else that usually is sometimes a fruit that when you combine all those things together, it reads a traditional winter holiday Christmas scent. So here we have juniper, and juniper is a little bit more of a fresh scent. Sometimes there's a little bit of a soapy lean to it depending on the quantity, but I don't really get any kind of soapiness here. I just get a tree. Now I do get a lot of the cinnamon, which is a mid-level, and I also get clove leaf. Now they don't have cinnamon in the scent description, but it's obvious in the name. So the clove leaf is an earthy clove, and the cinnamon is about a mid-level, but there's a fair amount in the scent. It's just in terms of hotness level. Now then we have the fruit, and the fruit is the cassis. Now cassis is a derivative of blackcurrant liqueur, or it is blackcurrant liqueur. So can you imagine like a tangy fruit backdrop in with those other notes? And yes, if you can, then that's what you're getting here. Now I would say the reason this is slightly different than the other scents that we might have been experiencing in the last few years, like balsam spice, sugar plumberry, homestead holiday, all those kind of scents, is they traditionally are good, strong performers. I would say this is a lighter alternative. Not saying that it's light, but it is lighter. So speaking of, let's talk about the family rating first, and then I'll get into performance. Now, one of the family members really liked the scent. I think you're going to be surprised at who it is. All right, my husband, he said another fail for him at 4.5 out of 10. He just wasn't having a good week this week. Erica said 9 out of 10, and I said to her, 9 out of 10, and she goes, I love it. And I said, I'm having a hard time deciding which ones I think you're going to like. She goes, I just love the spice medley. It feels like the holidays. So I said, okay. And Ryan said 6 out of 10. And Ryan kept going back and forth with his marks, but he ended up with 6 out of 10. And for me, I would say it's about a 7 out of 10 scent for me. So I decided to warm it in Erica's room because she liked it so much. And then I decided to warm it in my open area just because I wanted to use up some of my wax bar. And I had a lot of testers, 11, to use up. So in Erica's room, I put the equivalent of 3 cubes. And what I did was I usually just weigh out the testers and weigh out 3 cubes worth. And I only do that because I'm doing a review video. I probably wouldn't do that otherwise. But in her room, I would say at max, it was between 5 and 6 out of 10. When I was close to her mini warmer, it felt like a 5. And then when I walked further into the room, I felt like I got a little bit better as I got into the full-size warmer territory. So not the greatest performer. I left it going 2 days because you could still kind of smell it a little bit, but it was one of those low-level rollers. And it performed very similarly in the big area, but man, was it ever nice. So in the big area, I used the equivalent of 6.5 cubes between my testers and some of the wax part. And at most, it was about 5 out of 10, but it just kind of ticked along, and I left it going about a day and a half. It was really enjoyable. I would get better whiffs of it when I left and then came back. I would say small to medium spaces would be best, or if you could put it in a big area if company was coming over and it's a little bit of a lighter approach to home fragrance. I think that perhaps this didn't come back because it wasn't overly strong. Now, I did have a local customer back in the day that always purchased this, so she must have really liked it. But will I be repurchasing this one? Of course, if one of your kids really likes it, you're probably going to pick it up. So because Erica is very picky with her scents and she seemed to like this one, I would pick it up. But I don't think I would necessarily vote for it and bring back my bar just because performance is not as strong as I would like. All right, let's move to the portion of the video where I'm going to present to you 6 scents and you are going to vote for 2 different scents by early Wednesday morning. If you're new to my channel, please vote down in the YouTube comment section. And if you can't vote on YouTube, you can find my Instagram post. It's Patricia Gates, and put your 2 votes there. I apologize, I'm rambling a bit here today. Okay, scent number 1 is going to be a returning Bring Back My Bar scent. And I actually have some testers. I have 2 old testers, not received my kit yet, but scent number 1 is going to be Simply Cinnamon. And another one that's returning that for some reason I haven't reviewed and I have it in my club, so I have lots of bars, is Snuggle Up from the Catching Z's collection. So both of those scents are coming in the Bring Back My Bar kit, but I thought maybe it's good that we can get a jump start. All right, scent number 3 is Star Wars Dark Side of the Force. Scent number 4 is Dream Big Princess. Scent number 5 is Gingerbread Hugs. And scent number 6 from the licensed collection Wicked, it is Emerald City. Thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Don't forget to vote, and I'll see you guys in the next video.